Hello students, welcome to today's video lesson. Today we shall discuss the story Jalebis written by Ahmed Nadim Kasmi and translated from the original Urdu by Sufia Pathan. Let us give you a little background on our writer. Ahmed Nadim Kasmi was an Indian writer born in 1916 and wrote in two languages, Urdu and English. He served as a journalist, poet, short story writer and editor of the literary magazine Fanoon. The literary prizes he has received include Pride of Performance in 1968 and Sitara-e-Imtiaz in 1980. He died in 2006. Let us now follow the story. Look at the title of the story. Do you know what jalebis are? They are a very common Indian sweet that are deep-fried and dipped in sugar syrup. They are twisted to look like a small pretzel. Jalebis are one of the most popular street foods available in our country. It comes from the African Maghreb region, where it is known as the zlebia. Our story starts with a day in the life of a 5th standard boy who is carrying his school fees in his pocket. The teacher, Master Ghulam Muhammad, is supposed to collect the fees, but he is absent. So the boy has the money to himself for the day. See how the writer mentions that the events happening in the story occurred many years ago. It explains why the fee he has to pay amounts to only 4 rupees. On his way back home, the boy has a mental dilemma with the 4 rupees in his pocket. He is tempted by the coins to buy some jalebis from the bazaar and he tries to resist. The boy clenches or holds the coins tightly in his hand to stop their clamor. However, as soon as he loosens his grip, they again started influencing him. They remind him that he will be receiving his scholarship money from school the next day, which can pay off his fees. So, he can easily spend the money he is carrying on the jalebis. He is not totally convinced by what the coins are saying yet, but he starts to give way. From his thoughts, we come to know that he comes from a well-to-do family and hence enjoys a certain position in society. He also performs well in school and receives a scholarship of 4 rupees a month. This gives him the privilege or freedom of never having been beaten up by the teachers. Rather, he has been instructed to beat up other mischief makers in school on a few occasions. Though he is just a schoolboy, he is fully aware of the special treatment he commands due to his family background. Do you think the teachers did the right thing by allowing him to beat his fellow students? Should a student's family background and merit give him such privileges? The answer is, of course no. Spend some time thinking about this problem. You may discuss it with your friends. The thought of the jalebi still continues to torment the boy after he reaches home. He rushes out to the bazaar and asks the vendor or halwai to give him jalebis worth a rupee. The vendor is astonished because back then 1 rupee fetched a huge amount of jalebis. He retreats to a lane or gully to eat the jalebis. Attracted by the heap of jalebis he is holding, children from the neighborhood surround him. Content with the sweets in his stomach, he begins to distribute the rest of the jalebis. The excitement grows and more people join. He buys more jalebis with the rest of the money and shares them with everyone gathered. With this newfound power to draw crowds, he feels like the governor who distributes rice to the needy on Independence Day. The boy returns home fearing whether he can digest all the jalebis he had. He does not skip dinner as he does not want to raise his parents' suspicion. A shock awaits him at school the next day. He reaches school hoping to pay the fees with the scholarship money he is supposed to receive that day. At school, the teacher announces that the scholarship money will be paid the next month. Meanwhile, they have to submit their fees during recess. Unable to face the situation, the boy leaves school when the bell rings for recess. He hopes against hope that an angel or farishta will suddenly grant him 4 rupees. Over the next 2 days, he remains absent from school. He walks as far as he can, sits in the corner of the Kambelpur railway station under a sal tree and prays to God. He talks of his own goodness to Allah by telling him he has memorized the namaz and the 10 surats. Moreover, he can recite the entire Ayat al-Kursi for him. Namaz is the name for the Muslim prayer. People who follow the Islam religion make it a point to at least learn the last 10 surats or surah of the Quran by heart and to abide by them. The Quran is the holy book for the Muslims, and the last 10 surats cover events from the life of Prophet Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Ayat al-Kursi is verse 255 of the 2nd chapter, surah of the Holy Quran. Next, the boy actually performs every religious act he can think of to please Allah. He also tries magic tricks but soon realizes that nothing can alter his fate. Though the boy understands that he has to pay for his mistake, he hopes he will be spared from the punishment. Each day he walks home with the other students when school is over to avoid getting caught at home. For the 3rd day, he makes prior resolutions. He would be performing wuzu, wearing clean clothes and reading namaz at the same spot the whole day. Wuzu or ablution is a religious act of cleansing oneself of one's sins. This is physically done by washing one's face, hands, and feet before praying. However, he cannot fulfill his resolutions as his absence from school gets reported to his family members. For the next 2 to 3 years, the boy kept wondering why God had not listened to all his prayers. After all, he had repented for having spent his school fees on the Jalebis. In retrospect, he has realized that humans would have remained uncivilized and never learned the art of making Jalebis had Allah granted all their demands. Note how the boy's final realization serves as a moral of the story. It is also the sentence with which the story ends. Human civilization has achieved many wonders. The art of making jalebis is one of them. The sentence tells us that we have only progressed as a race because God showed good judgment and refused to grant wishes to undeserving people. With that, we come to the end of the story Jalebis. I hope you enjoyed the story and found this video lesson helpful. See you next in a recap video. Goodbye.